Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. Good news for Chiefs Kingdom. Patrick Mahomes did in fact practice earlier today, getting ready for Sunday's AFC Championship game at home against the Cincinnati Bengals. Mahomes told reporters earlier today that we'll be ready to go, and I'll be ready to go for sure. Suffered a high ankle sprain this past Saturday against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Anything is possible. I actually came in for a little bit, scored a touchdown, in fact a 98-yard drive, and threw a touchdown pass. It was pretty much perfect. And then Patrick Mahomes came back in the second half. Now, Reid said on Monday that Mahomes was doing okay, but that they were still taking it day by day. There's no way, shape, or form that Patrick Mahomes misses this upcoming weekend. There's just literally no way. And they're going to need it. And if, to me, and I said this in my Bengals video a couple of days ago, if Patrick Mahomes didn't get injured, if that ankle sprain didn't happen, and the high ankle sprain is unfortunate, tough injury, 100%, no matter who you are, but if there's going to be somebody who can make up for it, it's going to be Pat Mahomes. Now, the Bengals are actually favored in this game on the road, and I will say this because I've been covering both Cincinnati and Kansas City for the entirety of the season. These are the two best teams in the AFC. To me, it wasn't even close. Like, no disrespect to Jacksonville, no disrespect to Baltimore, no disrespect to Buffalo, but Cincinnati and Kansas City, especially as of late, these are the best two teams in the AFC, and you could argue they're the best two teams in the National Football League. Now, Kansas City's red hot. They're like 18-2 in the last 13 months against opposing opponents not named Cincinnati, so it's a pretty good record. But the contingency is they are 0-3 against Cincinnati. So you'll still take an 18-5 total record, but you have 3 straight losses to the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati is a really, really, really good football team, and I don't think, even though Kansas City didn't play a bad football game this past weekend, and you have to take it with a grain of salt because Patrick Mahomes missed a big chunk of the game, I don't think they would be able to get away with the way they played had they been going up against Cincinnati. I just genuinely don't think they would have gotten the win, but they didn't play Cincy, right? So they're still a fighting chance. And you got to keep in mind, even though Cincinnati is rising and rising and rising as the weeks go by, as the years go by, back-to-back AFCs, not only AFC championships, not only for Kansas City, but also for Cincy, they're knocking at their doorstep. This is going to be a big-time football game, and I anticipate both teams to be ready to go. So before we get any further into this video, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button. I do post Chiefs content a couple of times a week, just covering the playoffs, covering the NFL in general. I post daily NFL content actually a couple of times a day. So Chiefs Kingdom, you guys have blessed this channel ever since I started covering you guys. I hope you're ready for this upcoming Sunday. Either way, whether you're a Bengals, Chiefs, or just an NFL fan, or not even an NFL fan, you're going to have a really fun time watching this game on Sunday. I can't wait, and I know you guys can't wait either. So hit that like button, hit that sub button, but most importantly, drop some comments down below. Now, the good news is, and this was something I noticed immediately when Mahomes got injured and he came back in, Chad Henne, we talked a lot about Chad Henne in our last Chiefs video. He is one of the most sturdy, if not the most reliable backup quarterbacks in the National Football League. You don't really realize how reliable and how important a good backup quarterback is, or just a backup quarterback in general is, until their name gets called in an important game. And in this case, it was the divisional round of the playoffs against Jacksonville, who also were very, very red hot. So shout out to anything is possible. But Travis Kelce is currently tied for the most receiving yards by a tight end in playoff history with Rob Gronkowski with 1,389. No matter how the way this game goes, I think at the end of the day, Travis Kelce, whether it's after this year, whether it's after next year, whether it's when he retires, Travis Kelce will be undisputed the best tight end in the National Football League of all time. But like I was alluding to, that was one thing I noticed immediately, and there's 2 tricks to this game if you're Kansas City as far as offensively is considered, because Cincinnati, they have a top 6 offense and a top 6 defense, and I would argue they're a top 5 offense and a top 5 defense, no questions asked. So they're going to be coming ready to play. But what I noticed immediately, and I hope Patrick Mahomes can at least be healthy, and I know actually a lot of Bengals fans feel the same way, and I gotta say, I really shout out and I really respect both Chiefs fans and Bengals fans for wanting both teams to be as 100% as possible heading into this upcoming rivalry AFC Championship rematch, because that's the way it should be. You know, that's the way the sport is, that's the way football it is. Unfortunately, injuries do happen, but nobody's rooting for them. Like, you don't want to take down a decimated team, not like the Chiefs are decimated, but the same thing applies for Chiefs versus Bengals. You don't want the Bengals to be completely decimated. Maybe when it's all said and done, 5 years from now, we won't necessarily remember, like, oh, hey, do you remember Patrick Mahomes had a high ankle sprain? It's like, oh, yeah, you're right, that works. No, that's not the way it works. So you still need to win, but I like when teams respect each other. Now, what I noticed in the second half when Patrick Mahomes came in, and it comes to nobody's surprise, is how heavily included Travis Kelce was. Travis Kelce had one of the best football games for a tight end ever in NFL history, and you could argue in the playoffs, you could argue it was the best playoff performance by a tight end ever. Travis Kelce, 14 catches, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns, and to be quite honest with you guys, those stats don't even really do him justice, and those are really impressive stats for not only a tight end but for anybody. And whether you're a receiver, whether you're a running back, it really doesn't matter. Those are impressive statistics. But if his back foot is injured and he can't necessarily throw the deep ball, or even if he can, if it's not as accurate, if it's not as comfortable as he would necessarily like it to be, we all know Travis Kelce is going to be heavily included. And we all know Travis Kelce especially, even though the Chiefs have been 0-3 in the last 3 matchups against Cincinnati, Kelce has been a nightmare for the Bengals. So we know Kelce's going to be included a lot. And also, number 2, as far as the offense secret success goes for, no longer secret, goes for beating Cincinnati, it's Isaiah Pacheco and Jerick McKinnon. Patrick Mahomes, one of the best parts about him is he can extend drives, he can extend plays, and he can use his feet to get those first downs and to just change games with his feet. We're probably not going to see that this weekend. We actually saw a little bit of it after he sprained his ankle against Jacksonville, but maybe it'll happen once or twice, and that is still a blessing because the man is a beast. No matter what fan you are, he's a beast. But Isaiah Pacheco against Jacksonville, 12 carries, 95 yards. That's about 8 yards per carry. He had that almost 40-yarder when Chad Henne came in. That was a huge game-changing moment. I wasn't worried the Chiefs were going to lose, but it was still a difference maker because anytime a starting quarterback goes down, especially in a playoff game, it's like, whoa, hold on. Now, Jerick ran 11 times for only 25 yards. That's going to change. All right, that's definitely going to change. He's really good. Kadarius Toney, just one rush for 14 yards. I also think that's going to change. We're going to see more. It was a huge rush. He almost got the touchdown. Sky Moore, 1 rush for 3 yards. I just anticipate a lot more running backs getting involved in this game and receiving players in the backfield. Why not mix it up a little bit? Why not get creative, right? So that's really it for today. If you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. But Chiefs Kingdom, or if you're a Bengals fan or if you're an NFL fan, let me know what you guys are thinking.